Here's a good video about black journalists and how I feel about them when they're in the media and how they portray. You know, always knowing that you had to be your best on TV, how you presented yourself and how you articulated and how you were getting your subject matter. I think the question was we were always looking to see how it was going to come across, if it was going to be a message, and were you going to be able to talk about it in totality and honesty. That's what we always wanted with black journalists on TV. Do you ever feel that you got it, or do you feel like they were just reading through a teleprompter and they were trying to use the best diction to sound as non-threatening, but yet authentic enough for a certain mass audience? It's a good question. Black journalists and TV and how you talk, how you articulate, how it's perceived. You know, did you feel it or do you feel that it was lacking soul? It's a good question because sometimes people have looked at black presenters on TV and thought, oh, they just talking to the camera, or they just saying this to saying that. You know, it seems whitewashed and it seems like it's half-hearted, you know. And it is really hard to, when you're articulating to a mainstream audience, when they're having you in certain areas that you have to talk to the camera. It really is a bias to a bias. But the thing about it is, in its honest totality, you don't get it. And that's how it was on the news. Now, when you get on these YouTube streets, you can, vent more, and you want to see that side. I think that's the thing that some people weren't buying with black journalism on mainstream news. How authentic were you? How much depth and where you were going to go with said subject matter? And were you only going to be playing to the camera? Were you only going to be saying things that they wanted you to hear and say? Where were you going to go with it? What was it going to mean? What was it going to do? So it plays a big part with how far you're willing to go, what you're willing to do, what you're willing to say. Some people can tolerate it, some people can't. It means different things to different people. I know. Um, we all are, creatures of that, wanting that authentic. And so we say that, but when it actually happens, sometimes it's a bit much more than you can chew. So where do you come down with it? How authentic is it and what does it mean? What does it mean for when you see a black journalist on network TV? Do you think they're authentic or do you thought they bought, paid, and sold? You know. I know when I saw a guy like Ed Bradley, I believed him. Max Robinson, I believed him. I believed him. When I look at Gayle King, I'm suspect as all get out. When I look at Whoopi Goldberg, I'm suspect as all get out. I don't think that what I felt with a certain type of presentation, I don't feel the same, you know. And there's a correlation of what it means. And, when people speak from the heart, you can kind of tell, you know. Oprah Winfrey was like the one that kind of was the diluted and the heavy, and it kind of went in between. Some of it you could tolerate, and some of it was a shucking. It all depends on which way you were coming with it, you know. You want messages, you want people to be frank, you know. There was nothing like watching those old Malcolm X interviews. Even Dr. King. Dr. King could sound so strong and just say a way that just kind of like balanced it out, but he was giving you a message. A young man that was very forthright and straightforward, but yet putting a message there, and it sounded like, because good one folks could not articulate what he was saying, but he said it in such a profound way. But black journalists, mainstream, is an interesting dynamic. And how much of it do we believe in? How much do we think is a put on? And when I see black journalists on Fox News, I side eye and I kind of like, okay, we know what you gotta say. And you gotta sound out there. But then again, on CNN, because it's not the same standards, it says not, even when Don Lemon was there and some things were flipped, some things were on point, some things weren't, kind of was sideways. But Bernard Shaw was the real deal. There is a different way that it hits, but we do hold black journalism in a different manner. Happy to see somebody representing. However, are you going to tell the truth or are you going to whitewash and sound accessible? And it is a very tricky narrative. So I'm just curious where you come down on it. But let me know below in the comment section. I sure be curious about black journalism on mainstream news. Do you feel they are authentic or do you think they be sold out? Where do you come down on? Please hit like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear, watch out for another. Share if you like, and hit that membership. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm out. Peace.